What's good, y'all? It's TripleN here with another video. So we got a video from Zoe. My goodness, names with me. The children of OnlyFans OF mother. Yeah, now I don't know how to feel about this topic, but hey, let's get into it though.
Here we are again together, crying inside.
Yay.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. Cool. And as per usual, before we launch in, today's video is sponsored by me and my new company, Lions Tea Exchange, which if you haven't checked out, you definitely should, because the tea is great and you'll love it, and it's linked in the description box. Now, if you have been here for any length...
How much?
Exchange, which if you haven't checked out, you definitely should, because the tea is great and you'll love it, and it's linked in...
It's $18, bro. Okay.
In the description box. Now, if you have been here for any length of time orbiting this planet of insanity and sadness, you will already be aware that I have covered the topic of OnlyFans a bunch on this channel. But what I have never discussed, at least in detail, is the effect that this is having and potentially going to have going forward on children whose parents make adult content. Damn. Because I'm sure this issue is going to be really fun for everyone going forward.
No.
As OnlyFans continues to gain traction and popularity, as more and more women seem to view this platform as a legitimate means of making a decent income, seems that there will inevitably be consequences for families. Now, what specifically made me want to talk about this issue was a post I saw on Reddit not too long ago. Not counting for the fact that Reddit is the internet's butt. A woman asked the subreddit, am I the a-hole, if she is in...
Reddit's like the ultimate fake news, the ultimate false information, the ultimate myth site. Just a place where you can't really get the truth and nothing but lies. That's all you get in Reddit? I don't know.
In fact, the a-hole...
I will never have a Reddit. Nah, bro, nah.
For continuing to stream and post content on OnlyFans, Kick, and Twitch while her son is being bullied for it. Yeah.
Wow.
Probably. In the post, the mother says that she is a single parent who has been using platforms like OnlyFans and Twitch for income, netting way more than she's ever earned in any other job. However, despite the financial payoff, her 14-year-old son told her he is being teased by his classmates because of his mother's content, leaving him feeling humiliated and alone. The woman finished her post by writing, I'm torn between the need to maintain our financial security and the negative effects my career is having on my son. I strive to be a good mother and provider, but I'm questioning if I'm failing him in other ways. Am I the a-hole for continuing this work despite the emotional cost it's having on my son?
Maybe, but hey, the bread, but hey, money ain't worth it sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Just, oof, oof, oof. That's all I can say. Oof. Oof.
Is the answer not obvious in the way that you have articulated this? Can you...
I don't know. You are on Chicken Twitch, you can make money off of that, but... make good content, get good, I guess. So.
Cannot read the room? The comments reacting to this post were very divided, with people saying that she is the a-hole because she's contributing to the emotional anguish of her child, and it's absurd that she's surprised by this at all, while others suggested that it's better to be financially stable, even if the job is embarrassing for her son. Yes, I tend to agree that living in a cardboard box is probably not the go. But neither is letting your kid get emotionally beaten to a pulp because you want to take your clothes up on the internet for $15 a month. Now, a short time later, the mother posted an update. After a long discussion with her son about his feelings, the woman said that she has decided to disable her OnlyFans and will move away from...
Too late, it's already stuck. You should have just did like gaming content, you know, that's it. You could have just been an interesting person to talk to and vibe with in your community. But no, you had to go there.
From inappropriate content completely. To many people, this probably seems to be the most obvious solution to the problem. And even though the damage might already be done because the images and content are already out there, at least the mother is listening to her child and taking action. But the interesting thing here is that the reaction of this mother in this particular case doesn't actually seem to be the norm. And I know what you're probably thinking here, but Sydney, this is just you basing this off of a bunch of anecdotes that you found around the internet. And you would be right, because it's not like we have a bunch of statistics about mothers deleting their not safe for work content off the internet because it made their child sad. Although with how things are progressing, and given enough time, I don't think we're too far off. That revelation makes me terribly unhappy. Most of the stories that I've read, the women particularly who I have listened to, and the other anecdotes that I have collected from around the internet seem to have one very common thread. And that is, these children are being bullied relentlessly, not only by their peers, but generally by, I guess, wider society. They are being punished for the
internet, the community, obviously your classmates, but who else is cooking you, my guy? If it's the internet, then anybody can cook you. You're cooked.
The content that their mums and sometimes dads post and make online. The parents are aware of this, but they don't intend to stop. Not to mention the young OnlyFans women who don't yet have children but want them in the future are incredibly flippant and very cavalier about how this will affect their little ones somewhere down the road. So that's what we're going to talk about today. The children of OnlyFans parents, and more specifically mothers, because there's just more of them, and what on earth is going on here? And of course, once again, all of my regular disclaimers, this is by no means an exhaustive video. I am not going to hit every single point of this topic in this video. This is a snapshot that is based on observation, my opinion, and a little bit of analysis, because once again, we do lack, you know, meaningful empirical evidence that might help us explain some of what's going on and some of the effects and consequences that come along with this topic, which I feel like is obvious, but I always have to say. So with that being said, and before you once again board my hell gondola and together we traverse this river of sadness and cry tears of more sadness for Generation Alpha, who I am assuming are the primary generation who's going to be affected by this, let's hear from
mainly Generation Alpha. Yeah, we're gonna go through it.
From today's sponsor, which is me, Lions Tea Exchange. And if you think that my regular ads are incredibly chaotic, let's see how chaotic my own's going to be.
No.
Alright, so we have to make an ad for the new brand line.
W sponsor. Gotta skip you, gang. Every time you just make a weird... She just has a mannequin face. Like, this face looks like a puppet face. It's like, yo, Mocha, you look like you're... Let me shut up. Okay, she's back.
A world of flavor with light.
$18. Hell no, just hell no. $18, bro. 18 doubloons. Not berries, bro. You are, nah. I'm broke. Too far.
So what do you think? Could we possibly revisit the Tea Ninja? So if you too love delicious hot beverages and you want to support me and the channel, and you also want to drink some delicious tea, then head over to lionsteaexchange.com, go and check out the flavors that we have, get yourself a sampler box if you're not ready to commit to one particular flavor, and like I mentioned, that does really help support the channel. Also know that I pack your shipments with love, because I care. So go and check it out, go and order the tea. You know you want to. In late 2023, a woman called Sarah Cheek and her family were banned from an ice rink in their Florida town. During an ice hockey game, her 9-year-old son was involved in an altercation instigated by another player. A parent in the stands reportedly cheered when the child was hurt, while others ridiculed the boy. Cheek and her husband confronted the parents, which led to a bigger conflict, where she was reportedly threatened with physical violence. A few days later, as a result...
Okay, now some of y'all are extreme. I get it, she's doing like sexual content, but come on, this is a bit extreme. Like, yo, you know what? We all need to have an enemy in life, even if it's not ethical. Yo, even though it's not ethical. Even though it's not even though it's unnecessary to have that enemy, we just have that enemy just because we need an enemy, and so we feel better about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Damn, I almost made some bars, but I just ruined it.
And from the rink, while the other parents involved were not. Sarah Cheek is well known in her community for producing content on OnlyFans. She also appeared on the cover of Playboy and now has a pretty solid gig doing sports commentary. During an interview with WFLA, Cheek and her husband Matt were asked if it makes them anxious knowing that anyone can subscribe to her OnlyFans and subsequently affect their 4 kids. Matt Cheek answered no.
It doesn't make me anxious because the way that I look at it is it shouldn't impact my 4 kids. Why would any adult think that it's okay?
What? Sorry, give me a minute. Just a guy playing with his son. I'll let that slide.
Okay to treat a child anyway based on the parents.
Ish, my guy. Ish, I'm sorry for your kid, but ish, dog. Ish, it's a tough world. Do I need a bigger cap? Because this one, his one just goes in his head. Mine just, it works. Hey, wow. I really have a big head. Wow. Okay, back to the point. Sorry about your son. Ish, man, you married a Playboy model. Let me say that. A Playboy model. It's gonna happen.
Parents' job.
Having things happen to our children has been really hard because we turn off work. We're parents in that situation. And to see them get affected, it's probably the most heartbreaking thing anybody can experience.
The pair also claimed that
oh, I can imagine how many times she did it with multiple men.
this isn't even the first time Cheek's explicit content has affected their children. In the past few
you look like people in high school knew your name.
few years, she has been banned from attending her daughter's cheerleading events,
Dang.
and her sons were booted from their football league.
Okay.
One of the pair's sons was even suspended from school. I think
now that
most of
has
us
to be-
can agree that punishing a child for the sins of their parents is probably not the way to go. But for these parents to act surprised and blindsided when these things inevitably happen in these situations is wild. Like, people gonna people. I feel like that's pretty well established. Now, I don't have pudding people as of yet, but I would assume that a general consensus among decent parents is that if you're doing something that causes your child harm or distress or pain, whether it be physical or emotional, you stop. The same thing would go for any other relationship with a person you love and care about, like a spouse or a parent or a close friend. But that dynamic is really exacerbated when you are dealing with a child, someone who can't—
Well, quitting something takes a lot of work than learning to get addicted to it. So it's easy to get addicted, but removing that takes a while.
just often cut you out of their lives and over whom you have a degree of control. But rather than doing that, identifying that OnlyFans and the creation of explicit content is causing children pain and stopping, the Cheeks have done what many other content creators in similar situations have also done: blamed everyone else and doubled down. This is actually an attitude that I came across again and again while looking into this topic, and I suppose it brings me to my first point about this issue. These people seem to believe that sex work, as they call it, is as innocuous as any other profession, and if it makes them feel good, then really no harm done. In July 2021, in another Reddit post, a mother allegedly likened her OnlyFans content to working in a bank or a grocery store.
33.
Okay.
Oh,
You what? The post gained media attention because the 13-year-old child who wrote it expressed that his mother's actions and content make him want to self-delete, especially after he became the target of bullies at his school. When the child tried discussing that with his mom, she apparently said that it makes her feel good about herself, making the explicit content, and that her son
Then keep it to yourself, please, madam.
should be happy that she's more confident now. I feel like this is the same argument that meth heads make, except rather
This feels like gaslighting.
than making them feel more confident, I guess it just deadens them inside.
Slow.
Probably just like how this little boy is currently feeling.
Damn.
That got dark.
Oh.
The flippancy and the arguable selfishness expressed in this post reminded me a lot of an interview on the Other People's Lives podcast from February 2023. The hosts, Joe and Greg, interviewed a woman who makes explicit content with her husband and other men. This is gonna be great. During the episode, Joe and Greg asked the woman...
No. Fine.
About how her chosen profession affects her 3 children, 2 of her older daughters being 11 and 14 at the time of recording. She said that in order to circumvent them finding out about her quote-unquote job from other people, she opted to tell them herself. I would love to be a fly on the wall while these conversations are going down. Mommy, why am I being bullied at school? I'm sorry, Marta. It's 2024 and sex work is real work and I put all my areolas on the internet to pay for your piano lessons. I'm sorry, you did what? She added that the problems began when other kids in the town started finding her content and showing her daughters.
Mostly like other kids finding my stuff and then showing my daughters and being like, your mom's a whore. That was really tough, and it ended up coming down to is I kind of had to just be like, I'm not doing it anymore. I kind of had to lie to them. In fact, I was told by their other set of parents that I needed to lie to them and tell them that I wasn't doing it anymore.
Okay, they're buying your stuff, bro.
When the hosts went on to ask her how she broke this news to her children about her making the content, similarly to the aforementioned Reddit post, the woman explained that she likes doing the devil's tango and that she didn't get to have a hoe phase in her early life because she was pregnant very early on. What is this?
What?
Wait a freaking minute. So this lady films herself doing the devil's tango with not only her husband but with other men, and then proceeds to put the explicit content on the internet. Lady, that's not a hoe phase.
What exactly did you tell them? Like, you were like, I make adult content? Like,
yeah.
What exactly? Oh, okay.
That's pretty much exactly what I told them. I was like, yeah, so I've always had super bad self-confidence, and you guys, I know, are pretty aware of that. I became a mom at a very young age, so I never got to explore...
How young? Legally young or just young? You know what I'm saying?
That part of my life. I never got to explore the sexual side. I never got to have a hoe phase. And so... this is kind of me as an adult being smart about it and safe. Like, I do make sure everybody that I come encounter with has been tested. I get tested regularly, and I let them know that. And I also reminded them that I am an adult and I am allowed to make these choices. Being open and free with yourself is a really nice thing and a really beautiful thing. And being able to be confident in yourself and feel good about what you're doing and making yourself feel good, because let's all be real, sex feels good.
Like plenty of other anecdotes that I've seen from content creating parents, this mother also admits that her oldest daughter is embarrassed, and that's not something that this mother considered happening when she started posting and making explicit content.
Her friends have seen me naked. Like, that is
a weird sentence.
little embarrassing for a child to go through, and that wasn't something I really considered when I started getting right into it. And with not considering that, that's my bad.
Believe it or not, the I didn't think about how this would affect other people thing is a very common theme here. Online personality Adam22, who makes spicy content with his wife Lena, appeared on the podcast Raw Talk in mid-2023. During the episode, when asked about his 2-year-old daughter, Adam said the couple didn't consider her when making decisions about their content creation.
So I mean, because that had to be the biggest thing you guys were like deciding for or against it, right? For your daughter, right? I'm assuming that would have been the hardest thing of it, or you just...
No,
No.
we didn't talk about that.
So what was the hardest part for you and then saying yes to it?
The hardest part for me was just like wrapping my head around the idea that my girl was going to spend any amount of time with another guy, because even though I said it's not that big a deal to me, it's still a deal. It's still a thing.
You know, I floated this idea previously, but I'm gonna float it again. Parenting licenses. Now, much of this attitude...
Why is it so easy to be a parent but so hard to be a driver? Hear me out. Like, we should have tests for parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should take a test to be a driver. Take a learners, take a driving license, take an inspection, go renew the license, go renew the inspection on the car, whatever that sticker is on the car. Yeah, yo, bro. So you have to do that for kids, but nah. Like, me, bro. Like, me, I have one kid. There's some same guy my age right now with 3 kids. And I'm like, bro.
Seems to piggyback on the slogans of liberal feminism, that sex work is real work and therefore cannot be questioned, and any negative consequences that come with participating in the sex industry are purely the result of unnecessary, unwarranted stigma, and that if everybody just dropped their puritanical attitudes, all would be well. And while that's all well and good as far as meaningless online political discourse goes, it doesn't exactly translate in the real world. A place where you have to accept that you're not always going to be met with the exact conditions that you want. So while the sex work is real work crowd can fantasize as much as they like about what life might be like, absent of stigma.
Hey, slavery is real work. That came out so wrong. Hey, work is work. You know what I'm saying? When you wake up, that takes a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? So shush. Bro. Not good examples here, but even if we can consider it work, but is it really work, my guy? Is it worth it to work like that? Is it?
It currently exists. Sorry to be the bearer of bad tidings. Although at this point I feel like that's my primary role for all of you. Now, it might be one thing for this negative association to impact a fully grown adult individual who is participating and involved in the industry, but it is another matter entirely when that individual's actions start impacting children who have absolutely no say in the matter. A Business Insider article from early 2023, penned by an OnlyFans mother, lamented how this very stigma and the judgment associated with making not safe for work content is the reason she quit the platform, but she wishes that she didn't have to. She wrote, "I felt I was already running a risk by having an OnlyFans page as a mother. It didn't matter how much it benefited me financially. People look down on women who do any kind of adult entertainment work. When mums do it, the stigma is even worse. Everyone assumes it will irreparably damage the child somehow." I don't know, man. If Gen Z have taught me anything, it's that everything can irreparably damage a child. If Gen Z can internalize trauma from their parents forgetting to get them a birthday cake on their 5th birthday party, I am fairly certain that you putting your pink bits on the internet, your mom putting her one nipple, nope, that's not it either. Your mom getting very comfortable and intimate with some fruit on the internet for $12 a month is definitely going to cause some major trauma. Despite the potential blowback and negative perception, the woman says, "Running an OnlyFans page is the perfect job for a mother. I created content at home while my kids were at school. I could take time off when I needed it. I was available to pick up my children after school instead of forcing them into some daycare program. If they were sick, I could stay at home with them. I even had enough free time to volunteer in their classroom." What I find really interesting about this article,
try freelancing, try learning anything, okay?
In its totality, is that this mother seems to be quite upset about the stigma associated with what she was doing, doesn't seem to actually think that it will cause irreparable damage to children, and even makes the argument that it's a great and even perfect job for mothers. All while also admitting to the fact that she deleted her account from the platform, from OnlyFans, because the drawbacks were too many. The maths ain't mathin'. Yeah, I guess all of this brings me to my second point. The individualism that underpins most of modern society, the attitude, I do what I want when I want, consequences be damned, future consequences be damned, is all well and good when you're a teenager or even a 20-something living wild and free. But it's a lot harder to justify when pudding people are in the picture. So as a result, and unsurprisingly,
pudding people, children, forgot, my God, yeah, of course, right?
Consideration for those pudding people really doesn't seem to be at the forefront of this issue. In early February of this year, 2024, a woman called Michelle Klein got her children expelled from a Christian school in Florida. Klein was asked to stop driving her car on school property because it had a decal of her OnlyFans handle on the back window. And quite a large one, if I do say so myself. Lady, what did you expect?
Told her she could not drive on school property anymore. After that...
Why in the bottom says Junie finds Megadon high school shooter mothers guilty for? What the hell is wrong with America? Like, yes, there's school shooters, there's OnlyFans, there's OF moms, there's emo kids, there's fentanyl. That's, I don't want to get into detail. Just fentanyl. That's a worst topic on its own, love. So, America. Land of the free.
She added a larger decal, and now this week the Kleins got a letter saying the family's enrollment has been immediately terminated.
It's definitely not for kids, but there's a paywall that you can't access unless you have ID and a credit card.
In an interview, she said that she had the decal on her car for about 2 years before it became an
let me not go there.
issue and another parent complained. Since then, she says that she hasn't been on school grounds, which, just by the way, is confusing because in another news report that I listened to...
Why is she dressing like a felon, bro? She got Nikes, brick jeans, that black, whatever you girls call that, and tattoo and a side blonde hair girl. You look like you just came out of prison. And a white watch? A white G-Shock watch. A white G-Shock, I can tell. Damn it.
They said that apparently she got a bigger decal and kept driving on the school grounds, so I don't know what the deal is there. When asked about her thoughts on her kids being expelled, she indicated that she thinks it's unfair.
So I want to ask you, what was your reaction to the kids kind of being expelled or kicked out of the school? Did you think that had crossed a line?
I do, yes, because I feel like when they came to me and asked me to not be on property any longer with my vehicles, I immediately obliged. I wasn't back on property one more time since then, and I did what I was asked, but then I felt like, you know, like that wasn't enough. It's like they had to like take it further, and now I feel like it was being digging on the kids because they weren't an issue. You know, their behavior, their grades, anything like that wasn't a problem. It's just simply someone didn't like my car decal, so I removed it from the property, and yet it still wasn't sufficient.
Now, hilariously,
I think the police should get involved in removing her from the premises, but don't bring the kids into this. The school shouldn't get involved. It's like, how can I say this? It's like, anyway I said it just doesn't sound nice. I don't have any good examples. It's like, no, there are no good examples for that, of something to compare it to. Just don't have that kind of stuff in school premises. It's like, it's like selling steroids in school premises. It's like selling steroids in school premises, or selling energy drinks in middle schools, like people under the age of 13. So you're not allowed to have it around the kids. So it's not the school's problem. It can be the school's problem. Yes. It's complicated matters. That's why I hate adulting. I'm scared of it.
The latest development in this story is that the parent who complained about the decal, her children have also been suspended because she caused, quote, disharmony in the school by making a TikTok video about the incident. So, yeah, there's all of that. Now, something that I have touched on with relation to this topic in the past is that people seem to be of the opinion that there won't actually ever really be any consequences for their actions. This is especially common with young women who presently do OnlyFans and make explicit content, who are not yet mothers, but want to be a parent somewhere down the road. In one of my videos titled The Age of OnlyFans Regret, I showed a clip from the Whatever podcast where several young women argued that their content wouldn't be a problem for their future children because the market is currently saturated with so many women doing what they're doing. Meaning their children and their peers will all be in the same boat because all of their moms put their lady parts on the internet.
If you raise your kid in LA, like, there are so many.
I bet they look the same. You won't even notice it's your mom, trust me.
Sex workers here that I don't think that, you know, specifically one of ours necessarily is going to be the talk of the town when there's like so many plus years now going on between now and then.
These women also seem to believe that they can have their spicy content meaningfully taken off the internet with takedown requests. Which, like, just to reiterate, and I know that I already covered this in detail in my OnlyFans regret video, That's not a thing. Again, the internet is mostly forever, especially when it comes to seeing your butthole.
Why wouldn't you delete your OnlyFans if you... I've already spoken about this. I was big enough to where my going to be out there.
You can get it taken down very easily. You
can't.
Yes, you can. 100% you can.
You can't.
It's always gonna be
Yes, you
there.
can.
I was just curious why
You
you can't. I was just curious. I know. Okay, listen.
Trust
You guys have been doing this for 6 months too.
I also have lawyers that literally tell, like, you just pay for it and it gets taken.
There's DCMA takedowns, so I actually, a couple times a week, will go out on the internet to search my name and see if there's any of my content out there, and I use legal action and DCMA takedown to take that content down. So some of it doesn't always get taken down based on the country that it's in, because they don't obviously fall under those legal actions.
Unsurprisingly, like I have already said in this video several times, the things being expressed here are not uncommon, and this has been articulated again and again and again. In one clip from June 2023, host Piers Morgan asks an OnlyFans creator called Elle Brooks how she thinks her future children will react and feel when they see her explicit content. She responds, "They can cry in a Ferrari." Whoever owns Piers Morgan's content and his show, I actually don't know the company, I didn't look it up, sorry about that. They are notorious for copyright claiming and whatnot, so I am gonna try to include the clip. I don't know if it's gonna stick, but we're gonna see how it goes.
How would you feel when you want to have kids yourself?
Well, I mean, I don't really want kids right now. But
You will do. How old are you?
25.
Right, so you will do at some stage, probably, right?
Maybe.
When you do, you're going to be proud that you have your little ones and they look at you and go, "Didn't you want to be a lawyer, Mummy? What happened?"
Yeah.
And you go, "Yeah, but look at all my stuff."
They can cry in a Ferrari.
This is the face that we all make internally. This is the way. Just weeping. I find it very interesting that there appears...
It's like... it almost feels like, you know, you get all this money from sacrifices, then you're like, they're like... Yeah, it just, you get that weird sinking feeling, you know, that you don't really earn this, you don't really deserve this, you don't feel like you don't need to have this. You can have it, but not this way, you know what I'm saying? So it
to be this belief that the monetary and financial benefits of this type of work will inevitably pacify the negative experiences of children, present or future. This again is something that I've seen over and over with relation to this issue.
I feel like what I'm doing allows my daughter to have a better life. Like, we're going to be able to like put her through private school because I have the life that I have now. Like, I wouldn't have been able to give her that without that.
And you're not old enough or mature enough to grasp the benefits that have actually happened from this. You're only seeing one side of it. And I think after I had that conversation, she seemed to understand it a lot more.
I just feel like it's not that serious. I don't know. People get bullied for all sorts of things. So I think I would set my kid up with a life where they would be 1, safe, 2, financially stable, and 3, have a good relationship with me. So if anything were to take place, I would be able to take care of it.
Now, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't add that there are children, who seem to be mostly adult, who don't care about their parents' spicy content. I also saw articles and other stories while looking into this topic where daughters make content with their mothers or sons take photos of their mothers. Others indicate that the children are overall fine with all of this and even support it. Although I would argue that children are not the most forward-thinking humans. So to sign them up to a lifetime of implications that they probably don't fully understand the scope of yet seems a little selfish. This is also sort of an aside to this issue, but I do think that it's worth adding that parents model behavior for their children. So a mother or even father making spice content models that this is a viable career path, particularly for their daughters. In my view, it sets them up for a life of exploitation, especially if they choose to pursue this path when they are freshly 18, like fresh out of the womb, their little noggins are not.
Damn, okay, wow, okay. Are you even human or at all?
Not developed yet. That's Yeah, that's
No.
how I feel about 18-year-olds. I also want to add that I assume that this is going to make custody agreements and disputes a lot more challenging going forward. But that's definitely a conversation for another day. I think the fact of the matter here is that OnlyFans as a platform is probably not going anywhere anytime soon. And actually, I think you can extend that to any kind of adult content creation and these adult industries generally. There is an ever-growing market for this, and that means that there will be people to meet that demand. But as far as children go, it's sometimes
like, y'all niggas make so much money. Like, you can, you know, let me not say. Because sometimes, you know, sheesh, my guy, just know.
Very hard for me to wrap my head around why mothers especially would participate on a platform that more than likely won't give them the financial freedom that they so desire, given that the vast majority of creators on OnlyFans only make somewhere between $150 to $180 a month. This is something else that I explored in detail in my OnlyFans regret video, so I won't rehash it here. And if you're interested, go and watch that video because we talk about all of this. Ultimately, I think that we can all agree that first and foremost, a parent's responsibility is to make sure that their child is safe and well cared for. So with that said, I think it's very hard to make the argument that knowingly exposing pudding people to an industry that is known to be destructive and gross and harmful meets that criteria, especially when many, if not most, OnlyFans creators are very public about information that would ordinarily be private, like their actual name and their face and other information that they use to promote their spice content. While I understand that some people would much rather live in this magical fantasy land where there is absolutely no stigma attached to doing the horizontal monster mash on camera, that is not the reality in which we currently live, and that likely isn't going to change. So especially where pudding people are involved, I think it's considerably more important.
Just say pudding people. Just say kids. It just feels weird to keep saying pudding people.
At least in my opinion, to accept the reality in which we all exist, the parameters that exist, and work within those confines rather than wish for a world that's completely different and put your child in harm's way. I think it's worth remembering that OnlyFans only really rose to prominence in 2020 during the pandemic, which wasn't all that long ago. So with this platform being very new, it's very concerning and telling that we already have so many examples of children suffering the consequences of their parents' participation on the platform. And in the end, and unfortunately, I think all this indicates is that things are almost certainly going to get worse. Now on that very happy and pleasant note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out Lion's Tea Exchange, my little brand, using the link in the description. We have a bunch of flavors that you can try. You can get yourself a sample pack if you so desire, and it helps the channel, it supports me, it supports all the things that we do, and it means a lot that you guys give my weird little endeavors a try. So go check it out, you won't regret it. And yeah, now open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Is this issue actually a big deal to you? Do you think, it doesn't really matter all that much, this is not that important? Do you think that parents owe their children a sense of responsibility and respect when it comes to how they conduct themselves, not only in their profession, but also on the internet? And if those two meet, where's the line on how that parent should actually behave? Do you think that it's not really that big of a deal? All kids get bullied. This is just par for the course. Do you think that parents have a responsibility to stop doing what they're doing to protect their children in this sense? And what do you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride, and this ride was very long indeed. If you are not subscribed already and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel and also leave me a like and a comment. I do read the majority of your comments and I really like hearing your feedback. It's always good to get an alternative perspective than my own. On that note, stay safe and well, and I will see you guys in the next video.
Peace. Okay. I'm just gonna end it like this, okay? So my thing is, okay, that one for the one mother who had a Twitch, I'm like, you're streaming, right? And I know the formula for streaming is like, if you're a woman, it's supposed to be sexual. If you're a man, it's supposed to be like hella crazy, like Sorry. Yeah. But you get my point. Ouch, my back. Oh, oh, I hit too hard. Oh. But you get my point. You need to be active, crazy. I'm trying my best here. With women, you need to be sexually appealing. But not all women on Twitch. Like, you can just like scroll like a little bit, like just scroll like a little bit, and then the sexy girls are gone. They're at the top. Now you got the rest of the women at the bottom of the list of streaming. I watch those girls, and I don't go like, oh, let me donate you my kitchen. Why did that come out of my mouth? But my point is, I just go there, watch them, chill. You know, they're pretty cool girls. You know what I'm saying? Women, not just girls. They're cool women, adults. Sometimes they are kids, but I just go there. When they're playing a game, I talk about the game. When they're watching a YouTube, I'll talk about the video, because they're watching a video I'm interested, or I'm in the mood to have it in the background while I'm editing my videos. So, you know what I'm saying? Not weird. I swear it's not. Just I like watching people watch stuff while I'm working on people, so they can. She can just be trying to be entertaining instead of being sexual, but you know, sex sells, as they say in the world of marketing. I can't help this. And my camera. Oh, it's back. Okay, cool. It's been TripleN the King. That's been Sadie. I'm not saying it right. I'm not. It's been Sadie with another video. I subscribe to her. Subscribe to me. I don't have a gun on me, so you're free for now. It's been TripleN the King with another video. Perish.